get messed with by the police all the time, you know. So it's like we see criminal law and we see constitutional issues, you know, like big, complex issues playing out, you know, on the street, on the sidewalk, all the time. Like it's happened to me more times than I can count, and I'm white.
So in one of the cars, and one of the cops saw me, he was like, "Yo, come in, let me talk to you." He was like, "Yo, you know you're not supposed to walk through the doors, right?" And I was like, "Oh, nah, I didn't know. You know, I'm just going to school or whatever." So he gave me a block. He was like, "All right, just don't do it again." I was like, "Cool." I mean,
he asked if you had any stories about the police that you told a story that wasn't like a negative experience.
Yeah.
Like, I find like that was the first, like as soon as you said that, I started thinking about all the times they messed with police officers. Says, "Where you guys coming from?" So I don't know who it was. It might have been me or someone said we're coming from the neck, but no, he did. I said, "Yo, we're coming from there." He's like, "Where's there?" So it's almost like he begins the conversation in this real ultra disrespectful, aggressive tone. Right. So this is what happens a lot of times, particularly with the youth, the black youth, right? It's like you come up to me and you're already disrespectful. You're already like angry, kind of a vibe. That's what. So energy meets energy. So it's almost like the cop kind of got annoyed that we're asking, like, why are you taking this ID?
They ID 5 people in a people of color neighborhood, right? And then they ID 5 people in a white neighborhood. Right? Isn't that equal? Right? Aren't they treating those two communities in the same way? They are, right? In some ways. However, when you zoom out from the situation, and this is where this term biopolitics becomes appropriate, right? You zoom out onto a population level. All of New York City, there's millions of people in New York City. So if we ID, you know, 500,000 people in a black neighborhood, and then we ID 500,000 people in a white neighborhood, where are there more outstanding warrants, right? It's this idea that the police, they fish, you know, they scoop, and when they scoop into neighborhoods of color, right, all of a sudden people they'll ID you and they'll be like, "Oh, well, you weren't doing anything wrong just now. However, you have an outstanding warrant. Now we're going to take you in. Now we're going to arrest you." As you know, in terms of their policy, they say, "Hey, we treat these neighborhoods exactly the same." Well, there's more. We know that there are more police in neighborhoods of people of color than there are in white neighborhoods, right? And we know that those police are, you know, giving out more tickets, you know, for whatever reason, and sometimes no reason at all, as we've heard.
Yeah.
Right? So you have these policies that look equal on their face, but when you actually zoom out and look at, you know, how does this policy affect all of New York City, or how does this policy affect, you know, this area of Brooklyn or this area of the Bronx? Now we see how the inequality starts to come through.
It's in critical condition. We don't pull plugs over here. We fight for what we love. Word up. Anything I could do to keep you here with me, I'ma figure something out, just bear with me. I can't let you give it up. Down, down, down. I ain't buying that y'all buying any albums anymore. Keep the outcome of the Town record store. Hold down cause they low down sound. Blame the internet, I'd rather blame weak music. Use it till a spark hits a record and it heats like a cigarette. One spin, one